Hello and welcome. Today we're going to dive deep into something we've all felt, the acute stress response. You know the feeling, a sudden scare, and then boom, your heart feels like it's about to pound right out of your chest. We're going to trace that exact biological signal from start to finish. So let's get started and follow that signal.
So here's the big question, right? Why does that happen? A sudden, loud noise, something jumping out at you, and your body just reacts. It's a physical thing that happens way faster than you can even think about it. So what's the actual mechanism behind it all?
Well, the answer is a biological chain reaction that is literally faster than thought. And to really get it, we're not just going to talk about it. We are going to follow that distress signal every single step of the way, from where it starts in your brain all the way down to the individual muscle cells of your heart.
Okay, our journey begins deep inside the brain. We're heading into the parts that control our emotions and our most basic survival instincts. This is ground zero, where a simple thought or perception of danger kicks off a massive, full-body physical crisis.
The command center for all of this is what's called the limbic system. You can think of it as the brain's ancient emotional core. It's not just one thing, but a whole network of structures that handle everything from memory to motivation. But its most critical job? Handling our immediate, gut-level reactions to the world around us. So how does this whole system fire up? First, some kind of potential threat, and it doesn't even have to be real, you just have to think it is, gets processed by the amygdala. People often call this the brain's fear center. Its whole job is to instantly figure out if there's danger, and if so, sound the alarm. That alarm signal shoots directly to the hypothalamus, which is basically the brain's main command and control. Once the hypothalamus gets that emergency alert, it immediately launches the legendary fight or flight response.
Now here's where it gets really cool. The hypothalamus is a master coordinator. It doesn't just send out one simple signal. Nope. It activates two separate, parallel emergency systems at the same time to get the body ready for whatever's coming.
And you can think of these two systems like this: the sprint and the marathon. The sprint is your sympathetic nervous system, or SNS. It's an ultra-fast response that travels along nerve fibers, kind of like electricity through a wire, using chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. This is your body's first responder. It's on the scene in an instant. Then you've got the marathon, the hypothalamus-pituitary-adrenal, or HPA axis. This system is slower, more sustained. It uses hormones released into the bloodstream. Think of it as the strategic backup team, arriving a little later, but preparing your body to handle the stress for the long haul. So you've got these two different signals, the fast one and the slow one. Where are they both headed? Well, amazingly, they both converge on the exact same target, a pair of tiny but incredibly powerful glands. And we are talking about the adrenal glands. You've got two of them, and they sit like little triangular hats, one on top of each kidney. Don't let their small size fool you. These glands are the body's main factory for the powerful hormones that fuel our entire stress response. Now, an adrenal gland isn't just one solid piece. It actually has two distinct parts, and each part listens to one of our two pathways. The inner part, the medulla, is hooked up to that super fast sympathetic nervous system. It gets the neural sprint signal and immediately pumps out adrenaline. The outer region, the cortex, responds to the slower HPA axis. It gets the hormonal marathon signal and produces cortisol. So two pathways, two parts of the gland, two different hormones.
All right, so now we have our key chemical messengers, adrenaline and cortisol, dumped into the bloodstream. They're on the move, and they each have very specific, very important jobs to do.
Adrenaline is all about that instant explosive action. It's the classic fight-or-flight hormone, and it gets to work within seconds to prep your body for some serious physical effort. Cortisol, on the other hand, plays the long game. It's a steroid hormone, and its job is to help your body keep its energy levels up and manage the emergency over minutes or even hours. It makes sure you have the fuel to endure whatever you're facing.
And now we can finally get back to our original question. We're going to follow that adrenaline as it reaches its main target, the heart, and see exactly, down to the cellular level, what makes your pulse start racing.
So adrenaline gets released from the adrenal glands and just surges into the bloodstream. It's traveling all over your body, but it's looking for very specific docking stations. And its primary destination? The cardiac muscle cells that make up the powerful walls of your heart.
So how does a heart cell actually hear this hormonal signal? Well, it uses a special protein on its surface called a beta-1 adrenergic receptor. The easiest way to think about it is like a lock and key. Adrenaline is the key, and this receptor is the specific keyhole on every single heart muscle cell. And when that key slides into the keyhole, it unlocks a powerful chain reaction inside the cell.
Okay, let's walk through this domino effect inside the cell. Step 1. Adrenaline binds to the receptor. This flips a switch on a helper molecule, a GS protein, which then activates an enzyme called adenylyl cyclase. Step 3. This enzyme starts working like crazy, converting ATP into another molecule called cyclic AMP, or CAMP. Think of CAMP as a second messenger. It's spreading the alarm inside the cell. Step 4. All that CAMP activates yet another enzyme, protein kinase A. And now for the final step, the big one. Protein kinase A opens up a bunch of calcium channels, and calcium ions just come flooding into the heart muscle cell.
And that flood of calcium, that is what you feel as a pounding heart. It causes 4 specific things to happen. You get positive chronotropy, which just means an increased heart rate. You get positive dromotropy, the electrical signal moves faster through the heart. You get positive inotropy, meaning each heartbeat is way stronger. And finally, positive lucitropy, which means the muscle relaxes faster between beats so it can fill up with more blood for the next powerful squeeze. All of that together is your heart in overdrive mode.
Now, this whole system is just a masterpiece of evolution, designed perfectly for short-term survival. But what happens when that alarm bell never ever shuts off? What are the consequences when acute stress turns into chronic stress?
Well, as Dr. Ricardo Petracco from Mayo Clinic Healthcare puts it, the long-term effects are really serious. When this system is switched on all the time, a mechanism that was designed to protect you can actually become deeply damaging to your cardiovascular health.
Being stuck in a state of constant alert means you have constantly high levels of adrenaline and cortisol. This leads to chronically high blood pressure, which damages your arteries and encourages plaque to build up. Over time, that seriously raises your risk of heart disease and stroke. It can even mess with your immune system. And in really rare cases of extreme short-term stress, it can even cause something called broken heart syndrome, which is a type of acute heart failure.
So when you look at the big picture, this fight-or-flight response is an ancient piece of our biology that was absolutely essential for keeping our ancestors alive. But our modern world is full of psychological and chronic stressors, not saber-toothed tigers. So this system can get dangerously overactivated. And that leaves us with a really important final question to think about. How do we manage it?